My favorite nine-figure free agent signing. I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to Talking Baseball fans because I have mentioned how much I love watching this guy play. It's going to Trey Turner
Mm,
in the Philadelphia Phillies.
mm.
He ends up getting, I want to get this right here. 11 years, 300 M's. His average salary, I don't know how this happens or why they do it. 27, 27, 27, 27. 27 M's. Average salary. He's going to be there until he's 40 years old. The reason I like this for the Phillies so much is, they put together a good roster last year. And at the beginning of last year, we talked about, they're going to be defensively challenged. Like they have some high end starting pitching, but we have some question marks in the bullpen and the depth of the rotation. Let's see what this team can do. They're not going to play any defense whatsoever. They're going to go bang the ball around. It didn't look that great in Philly all year long. Like we were wondering what was going on. Then Bryce Harper ends up getting hurt, and we basically put him to sleep last year. Then they have that run that they go on. They sneak into the playoffs, get it all the way to the World Series, and end up losing to the Astros. That'd be all nice, but I think going into the following year, you could probably, if you're a Phillies fan, you could probably say, well, we kind of got lucky last year. Like the run we went on. I know we're gonna have Bryce for the whole year this year, but there's no sure thing that that's going to happen again for us. Like we could easily fall back to, in that tough division. Like they could see the Phillies falling back and kind of having like a year where things don't all go as planned, or surprise runs like they went on without Harper. But then you add a guy like Trey Turner, and it just sets you in motion. Like it's World Series or bust. Like it really changes the mentality of that organization and all the players in there. Without a guy like Trey Turner, without a big signing like that, you're going into the year saying, we got a lot of work to do to get back there. When you sign Trey Turner, you're like, holy shit, like we expect to get back there now. It's a different mentality. And the things, we all know what he brings to the game. Some of the defensive numbers aren't great on him, but watch the guy play. And even he said himself, like, if I wanted my defensive numbers to get better, they could get better.
Right.
And I know that sounds flippant and like arrogant, but it's true because I have a guy I can set him up with that'll Mark Simon, shout out Mark, that'll change all of his defensive numbers with just a little bit of positioning. So I believe it. I believe in that. I think he is a quality defender. And then we know what he brings on the offensive side of the ball. He's over a 300 career hitter. He's going to hit leadoff for them most likely. The guy is electric on the field. He is my favorite player in baseball to watch because he's just good at everything. You watch him play day in and day out. Like you're going to see a ball player. If he's not doing it offensively, you're going to see some stuff on the base pass or defensively. Like he brings it every day, and he brings a different type of energy. I think that he 100% changed the mentality, even though they went to the World Series last year. Everything is different when you sign a player like Trey Turner. So for that reason, he's my favorite large contract free agent signing of the offseason.
I love it, Trev. I knew you liked Trey Turner. I didn't fully know you were there, man. Trey Turner, the one thing I'll say, like you mentioned, he can do everything on a baseball field. He's one of the guys that when he turns on a homer, I always let out a little ooh. Like I forget Trey, like, he swipes bags, he's gonna hit a lot of it actually, and play some defense. But when he turns on one, you're like, damn, all right, Trey Turner. I'm trying to remember the series of events. He was the first big contract, right?
It was early.
The first like big one.
Because I remember that kind of starting the chain reaction a little bit, and that's where comparing him to Bogarts, you got, similar contracts there, same amount of years. Bogarts is like $2 million less per year, a little less than that. So in the scope of everything, they're pretty similar. I would lean Trey Turner out of those two. I think his versatility over the years can play out a little more. And I just like him slightly more as a ball player than Bogey, who, Bogey might just shove that up my butt this year and the next couple years. And then Dansby, going back to the whole shortstop class, the Cubbies took their chance, and I like that contract, but they're paying him more per year than Bogarts. As I got that right. Oh no, excuse me, it's just a little less. So I don't know. On that scale, if you're talking about all this money that we're shelling out, I don't know. I think when we originally did kind of some of the shortstop pegging charts of where this was going to sort out, I love that you love Turner. For me, in this exercise, I'd still take Correa, especially where the numbers land and injuries and all that. And then it's funny, like, for some reason, I'm more comfortable with Dansby at 7 for 177 than Bogey at 11 for 280. Maybe there's some rooted Yankees hate there. Maybe I just want Padres fans to come at my neck, but that's just how I feel about it.
I think in these four shortstops, I think it's Carlos Correa and Trey Turner 1A, 1B, Bogey, and then Dansby. I think those two at the top separate themselves. I know these are all excellent players. We're talking elite players here. But when you get down to the nitty gritty, man, I want the ball hit to Trey. I want Trey up at bat with a big situation up. You can say the same thing about Correa. I mean, you can say the same thing about all these guys. But in my mind, man, Trey Turner is. I don't know. When I watch him play, I think he's the best of those four. I just said 1A, 1B, but I think he's tops for me.